the bell that doesn't ask anything. A reminder was set to go off every hour. Not an alarm, not a task. Just a voice that says one sentence, then disappears. It goes off during cooking. It goes off during silence. It goes off during irritation. It goes off during joy. It goes off during company. Sometimes it is heard. Sometimes it is missed. Sometimes it is dreaded. Sometimes it is wanted. Sometimes it feels like a spotlight, even though no one is watching. That is where the experiment begins, because the words are not the point. The reaction is the point. A school bell trains the nervous system without explaining anything. It interrupts the hour. It breaks momentum. It ends one trance and starts another. No argument is required. The bell simply rings and the body moves. That conditioning never really ends. It just changes uniforms. Deadlines become bells. Notifications become bells. And the mind learns to jump on command. This hourly reminder does something different. It rings without requiring motion. It rings without requiring response. It rings and leaves the room exactly as it found it. That is why irritation can appear. Irritation appears when control is expected. Control expects timing to be negotiated. Control expects privacy for thoughts. So when the reminder arrives in the middle of a mood, it can feel intrusive. Not because it harms anything, because it refuses to cooperate with the idea of secrecy. It exposes the fact that mood was already there, running the show. Sometimes a visitor arrives carrying a whole tornado of problems. Work shifts pile up. Family chaos spills into every sentence. Money pressure sits in the voice like a stone. In those moments, the reminder can feel dangerous, like it might ring at the worst time. Then the visitor leaves, and the room goes quiet again. And the truth appears. Nothing actually happened to the room. Only the mind insisted something might. That is the first crack in the wall. The reminder is not changing life. It is revealing the demand to change life. Distress is not caused by a world that moves. Distress is caused by resistance to a world that moves. Resistance says, this should not be happening. Resistance says, this must change before peace is possible. The reminder does not fight resistance. It does not debate it. It simply arrives on schedule and offers a pause. That pause is the mechanism. Here is the mechanism, clean and complete. First, interruption. A trance is broken for a moment. Second, non-judgment. No evaluation is added to the moment. Third, immediacy. The pause is offered right where disturbance is noticed. Fourth, repetition without effort. The reminder returns whether the mind cooperates or not. Fifth, life continues. Nothing has to stop for seeing to occur. Sixth, authority dissolves. Thoughts still arise, but they lose command. Emotions still surge, but they lose law. Seventh, recognition replaces strategy. Recognition is not an achievement. Recognition is simply the end of argument. This is why nothing needs to change for everything to be different. A car is not what is wanted. Money is not what is wanted. A relationship is not what is wanted. Those are symbols pointing to something invisible. Safety is invisible. Worth is invisible. Peace is invisible. The mind tries to grab the visible to obtain the invisible. Then it keeps grabbing, because grabbing never reaches peace. So the scenery keeps changing while the pressure remains. The reminder interrupts that habit without attacking it. It is a lighthouse that does not chase ships. It does not lecture the sea. It shines outward, because that is what light does. Peace is like that. Peace does not jump into war to prove it can win. If peace fought war, peace would become war. If peace resisted fear, fear would be granted reality. So peace remains untouched, while conflict exhausts itself. And after enough repetitions, laughter shows up. A voice speaks a sentence, and nothing collapses. No punishment arrives. Only the quiet recognition that guilt was pretending to be necessary. Even missing the reminder can sting. That sting reveals attachment to the bell itself. That too is met without judgment. Because the point is not perfection. The point is noticing. Nothing real can be threatened. Nothing unreal exists. If what is happening is real, it cannot be harmed. If what is happening can be harmed, it was never reality. That logic is not cruelty. That logic is freedom. Submitted for consideration. An hourly bell with no agenda. No sermon, no strategy. Just a voice that arrives, speaks, and leaves. And in that small gap, certainty loses oxygen. Because the strongest prisons are not made of steel. They are made of uninterrupted conclusion. And the most startling escape is not dramatic at all. The door is not forced open. The door is noticed when argument stops. A pause in certainty. A shift without movement. A world that looks the same and means something else entirely. Welcome to the Twilight Zone.